Hello everyone. I just wanted to make a quick video on showing how we're going to make a composition and render it out inside of After Effects. All right. So I made a new composition. If you guys are forgetting on how to do that, I'll just kind of delete this one and I'll click on this little icon down here. Same thing as going to the menu set it up top and creating a new composition. I'm going to create a 1920 by 1080 because that's fine. And I'll just create something real quick like a PR shape layers just to make little shapes, right? Little objects. Go down to the star, hold down Shift and drag. Go ahead and hold Alt as well, whatever. And I'll release it. So I have something there. I'm gonna make a quick animation out of it. So I have the poly star, and I'm gonna go up here to the top, click on my selection tool, move it from here to there, and I will go to the Polystar transforms. So I'll just hide the content, and I'm going to click on the position, little stopwatch here, so I can set a key at the beginning of my keyframes, or sorry, beginning of my timeline here. And I have a keyframe on the beginning of the timeline now. You can see it right there. And I'll go maybe, let's say 4 seconds in, 4 seconds-ish in. Take this thing, I'll move it over. You see my motion path there. And I'll go from one side of the screen to the other. Release it. I'm gonna go to the middle here. I'm just gonna have this rise up around the 2 second mark, like that. So we have this awesome animation of our star just kind of going up and down like that. And I'm gonna render this out and make an awesome movie because it is awesome. So let me go up here and go to composition down to add to render queue or control M if you like to use your hotkeys. Once the render queue comes up, I'm going to go ahead and leave the render settings to best settings. That's totally fine. Okay. I'm going to go to the output module and click on the text that says lossless. That is going to bring up a output module settings for me. And by default, since I am on a Windows computer or PC running Windows, I'm going to have the format set to AVI instead of QuickTime. So I'm going to drop this down and go down to QuickTime. So I have a QuickTime format, and under the video outputs, I'm going to go ahead and leave this alone. This is fine. RGB is a good display color channels for video and monitors and such, okay? Not necessarily for print. I'm going to go to the side here where it says Format Options. Click on that. Go up to Video Codec. Down to Animation, which is a lossless format. It will give you really huge files, okay? So for my class, we do drop this down and go to H.264. Okay, there's some others that you might be able to use, but this is fine for now, okay? H.264 is pretty good, has pretty decent quality and whatnot. Under the basic video settings, 100% is the quality, which is pretty high. Anywhere from the 75 marker or 70 marker up is considered high, so we could actually drop this down to 70. In this case, since it was just a simple animation that I don't really need it to look super awesome, I could put it down to 50 or something like that. But for this, I would do at least 70 in this case. I'm going to go down to hit OK, because I don't need to change anything else. And you'll see that the audio options in newer versions of After Effects are set to auto. So if you have audio in there, it's going to come out at 48 kilohertz, which is a good high setting for DVD and whatnot. 16-bit, which is a good rate, a sample rate for DVD, CD quality, all that good stuff. And it's set to stereo automatically, so I'll just hit OK. I don't need to change any of that stuff. Over here to the output 2, it says not yet specified. I shall click that. And I need to tell it where to save. So just for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and save it in or on my desktop. It says quicktime.move. That's great. That's all I need to do. I'll hit save. Okay. And now before rendering out, I'm going to hit my caps lock key. The caps lock key will disable any preview up here. So my graphics card and computer will not have to run a preview for me to see, well, render out a preview for me to see, and render out the final composition or movie. It will just render out the final movie, okay, so that it's spending all of its cores and power on creating the movie, so it'll be a little more quick than me seeing a visual representation and it also rendering in the background to make a movie. It'll just render the movie much more quickly. So I'll hit render now. You'll see that the caps lock key has disabled this from moving and it's not giving me a representation there. So this is a pretty quick one. I was going to pause the video, but it's quite all right. It should happen here soon. You guys see that the little blue bar will go across and you'll hear the wonderful little chime at the end when it is done. Now, again, always check your videos. If you guys turn in a video to me that does not work, I have nothing to grade, okay? Make sure you check your videos and that they are working. Otherwise, you run the risk of giving the client a final product that is not a good deliverable, okay? So that is done. Usually it'll pop up, but I'll go check on my desktop, which is really messy. Oh, look, we have some word going on here. Let's just close that. And I didn't give it a name. I should have given it a name, but it's probably this comp one right here. Let's test it. Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. But again, what I should have done, and I didn't do that, but if I wanted to render this again, I could just go change the name, but you see that right here in the output 2 is labeled comp 1. I could take this layer, and I can't render this layer again, but I can hit Control D or edit duplicate right there, okay? It will duplicate that previous render. I could take the previous render and delete it so I don't get confused. Really up to you. But I can click this again and it's going to my desktop and I can give it a name, and I do want you guys to name your stuff your last name. So I have caps lock still on, so I'll disable that. Last name underscore your first name as a minimum, underscore the project name, and underscore the date, okay? Worst case scenario, I'll take a last name underscore the first name, just try to make sure that you put this in the correct folder. And then I would hit save, hit caps lock key, and then render that again, okay? Otherwise, I would just go back to the render if this one was working fine, and I would just rename it. So right click, rename, last name underscore first name, okay? That's pretty much it. So I shall see you guys next time.